The Rivian R1T and R1S were revealed in 2018 with a lot of excitement. The company had been in stealth mode for years, and then they came out swinging with these two great-looking products. And it seemed like the anticipation went beyond the average EV owner and really infiltrated and excited the Tesla-only folks, and some even anti-EV people were interested. That broad appeal was palpable in early 2020 at Fully Charged Live in Austin, Texas, where I saw the R1T and R1S for the first time in real life. I came away really impressed by the size, cargo space, and overall look of the vehicles, but these were pre-production models on display with a lot of people crowding around them. They definitely got a lot of attention at Fully Charged Live, but like a lot of prototypes, you don't know what the production version will be like. 2 years later, and we get the answer. My friend Jason's brother picked up his launch edition black R1T last Wednesday and let Jason take it to Cars and Coffee Saturday morning. Needless to say, I was there bright and early to check it out. We got lucky with the first really nice spring morning here in Minnesota, and the crowds were ready to enjoy it with some sweet cars. There were some Teslas at the show, but since I'd seen those, we made a beeline for the Rivian. It took a little looking because the design is pretty traditional, so although it's unique, it doesn't seem out of place or scream for attention. The front is unique with the lack of a grille, a light bar, and the carabiner-inspired headlights, so when you see it from the front, you'll know exactly what it is. The light bar doubles as a charging indicator when it's plugged in, which looks pretty sweet in a garage, especially with the logo puddle lights. Under the hood is a massive Frunk with deep storage of 11.1 cubic feet. Rivian uses the more Tesla-style Frunk where the top lifts over a basin. The downside on a vehicle of this height is that everything has to be lifted in or out over that lip. The Ford F-150 Lightning and the Silverado EV, coming next year, employ a more clamshell opening, so lifting things in or out is only as high as a tailgate would be. I think there's a place for both designs, and I have concerns about people overloading those Ford and Chevy Frunks, hitting the brakes too hard, and damaging the closure of those Frunks. Time will tell, but I like Rivian's approach for the R1T. The false bottom also adds more utility to this lockable storage space. When the vehicle is unlocked, you can use the release in the front to open it similar to a hatchback. Under the hood is the Rivian logo, which we'll find everywhere around the truck, including within the headlights as we can see in close-up here. Moving along the driver's side, we get this funky little body panel that pops out and rotates to reveal our Ccs Charge Port. Pretty standard, but interesting that they moved it to the driver's side from the passenger side in the pre-production model. I'm guessing it's for ease of pulling into charging spots rather than having to back in. I was a little concerned as people walked by that a sleeve or something might catch on the door, but like other charge doors, once a cable is plugged in, people don't walk so close to it, so it's probably not a big concern. Moving along the side, we can see more of that Rivian branding of the gold-backed silver. That sharp look will continue heavily when we move inside, but for now we'll look at the flush door handles that present themselves when the truck is unlocked. It's a friendly, welcoming touch that eliminates the confusion of how to get in. Next, let's take a look at one of the wow features of the Rivian design, the gear tunnel. Everyone had to check this out, and it was getting a lot of interest and praise. Kids young and old want to climb through it, and had my daughter been there, I never would have been able to get her out. Hyperbole aside, it's a super useful 11.7 cubic feet of space that can also be accessed through the center of the back seats. It's got a 120-volt power socket on each end, and the doors each have a little storage space in them and are strong enough to sit or stand on when putting on hiking boots or loading up the cargo racks. Rivian is working on accessories that will slide in and out of the gear tunnel like their camp kitchen, which will be produced soon. It'll be interesting to see the different ways people choose to use this space. As we move up top, here you can see the shark fin antenna and a little wing on the back of the cab. Both of these appear to be new additions to the production vehicle. In the center, there's a camera I'll point out now, but we'll come back to it later. Looking toward the bed, we can see a couple tie-down points, the tonneau cover partially closed, and a bit of the bed that measures 51.1 inches wide, 54.1 inches long with the tailgate up, and 83.9 inches when down. Under the bed, there's a cavernous space that can either fit an optional full-size spare or just be additional storage with a drain included. Another great stealth storage area. On the back of the rails of the bed, we have another set of tie-downs, the tonneau cover controls, and tailgate release. In the driver's side of the bed is an air compressor with a couple of cable locks below it for securing gear or tools. On the passenger side, there are two 120-volt outlets under a flap. I'm looking forward to seeing how these perform and the battery usage from doing construction projects from the bed of the R1T. They market this as an adventure truck, but I have a feeling it'll handle more utility uses in the real world. One other change from pre-production, there are big toe loops built into the tailgate, which looked cool but don't make a ton of sense if you were to put a bunch of tension on the tailgate hinge. I believe these have now been moved to the rear bumper, but I didn't get a shot of it. Another minor change is the power outlets and air compressor have switched sides from the pre-production truck, like the charge port. Inconsequential, but interesting. A quick look at the taillights shows some more of that stealth branding. Moving along the passenger side, and we get a good look at the Pirelli Scorpion Zero all-season 22-inch tires and that sweet gold brake look. Now let's head inside the cab, which Jason says is really comfortable and quiet when driving. This interior is specific to the Launch Edition, but the broad strokes will apply to the other trim levels. I like the dark wood dash and how well the screens are integrated into it. To me, this is one of the best designed dashboards with screens. They feel really naturally placed and not tacked on or overdone. I've heard that the software could be a little snappier, but that's something that can be improved through over-the-air updates over time. The seats look sharp and are heated and ventilated. Jason said the ride was really smooth over bumpy roads, probably due more to the 11 inches of travel in the suspension, but if the seats were made of thumbtacks, I'm sure he would have noticed. So a good look with more branding and gold and silver accents on the headrests. The center console is unique with a top that pops open from the middle. It'll be interesting to see how people like that long term. I feel like it would take some getting used to and would be concerned about liquids or crumbs finding that seam for a double-decker mess, but that might just be parental paranoia. Under the center console is a removable Bluetooth speaker that's been getting good reviews, and it's super handy that it clicks right into place and out of the way. The floor mats are very stylish, but depending on how you plan on using the truck, you may want something that can catch and hold more mess. The back seats look good too. I didn't test out the legroom, but it looked okay for a truck of this size. The back of the front seats have these nice hooks on them and a really great looking accent for the seat pockets. The back of the center console has a screen for climate and seat controls as well as two USB-C ports. The back seats are also where you can truly appreciate the glass roof when traveling. A couple other things that are of note back here are the latch points for the car seats if you need them, and the center armrest with cup holders, storage, and that pass-through to the gear tunnel. Coming back outside with another look at the big specs of the overall size of the truck and stats and angles for off-roading, which again, the reviews of that kind of driving have been overwhelmingly positive. I mentioned the camera on the back wing. There are also cameras in the side mirrors, windshield, front, and wheel arches. Overall, they have 11 cameras, 5 radars, and 12 ultrasonic sensors for their Driver Plus system, which is driver assistance, lane keeping, lane centering, and adaptive cruise. Kyle Connor from Out of Spec Reviews did a test of the system, I'll link to in the description. Seems pretty good so far and should improve via software updates over time, but for now it only works on pre-mapped sections of highway. We'll wrap up with a quick look at trim levels. All of this is straight from Rivian's website as I'm recording, so prices and details will change over time as we've seen. But it's definitely a capable truck that turns a lot of heads, and I know I'm looking forward to my first ride or drive in one. So a huge thanks to Jason and his brother for letting us check out the R1T. It was really exciting to see something so brand new out in the public and being able to get some good shots and video to share with all of you. I know I saw a lot of details that I hadn't seen anywhere else. So with that, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.